Anti-Semitic rhetoric, anti-American rhetoric still seems to be on the rise, whether they mean to or not. But I would say that Congresswoman Tlaib did it in a place where I believe the intentions were there. The intentions were pure, if you will. Pure evil will.
Right,
That's a good way.
Purely evil.
Yeah, there you go. And we're going to play some of that. Should we kick it off with that?
This is at the People's Conference of Palestine. The subtitle of this conference was Gaza is the Compass. So effectively saying that we need to follow the way of Gaza as we seek to free Palestine. And this is one that caught a lot of attention because as she starts to talk to this crowd about the Palestinian cause, and she starts to take a turn back towards America. This is bite one from Congresswoman Tlaib just days ago.
They thought they could kill us, rape us, imprison us, violently uproot us from our olive tree farms, starve our children to death, and we would disappear. Well, guess what? Now we're in Congress, and we're every corner of the United States. Y'all, they just don't get it. They just don't get it. They will never truly comprehend, Ya Jama'ah, even after 7 decades, that we aren't going anywhere. We are just getting started. I want to say to all of them, every genocide enabler, look at this room's we ain't going anywhere.
Quote unquote genocide enablers, which at this point, Will, I think it's kind of an all-encompassing. It feels like it's not just people who are supportive of Israel and their cause to remove Hamas from leadership. We're also talking about Americans. We're talking about anyone who they believe. And look, the first part of this you could say is pretty generic rhetoric. Generic rhetoric we've heard now for the last number of years. Nothing too, I'd say, over the top. Is it offensive? Of course it's offensive, but it's nothing extreme. And then it does take a turn. And you're right, when it starts turning towards the United States, we're now in Congress and we're in every corner of the United States. That does feel a little from the river to the sea-ish.
What you have to realize is that their ideology isn't just about taking down Israel. It's also about taking down places like the United States, where there is a Western-style government, where there is Western-style freedoms. They don't want that. This is from Tlaib, from the same speech, just moments after that first clip we played, where she's taking it not just about, at this People for Palestine conference, it's not just about Palestine, in her words. Play bite 2.
It's not just Dami Palestinia. It's that as an American, this city taught me that the political structures that I have to work in, that we all are surrounded by, was built on slavery and genocide and rape and oppression. Detroit taught me that these institutions will never save us. Detroit will remind me constantly, the community mothers, that it's not the genocide-enabling Congress or the White House that will free our people. It is only us. It can only be us.
Logan, this is getting dangerously close to some of like overthrow type rhetoric of she's a sitting member of Congress and she's saying that the political structures that she has to work in, poor her, being elected to Congress, has to work in these that are built on slavery and genocide. And yet it's not the Congress or the White House, not the freedoms that are enshrined in our Constitution that can save people. It is only the people in that room.
The inversion of language is what struck me in terms of what Rashida Tlaib and others at that conference. They are perpetrators of genocide. The entire Palestinian collective is defined around every one of its foundational documents of its intention to commit genocide of the state of Israel and of the Jewish people. That's what the river to the sea means. It's interesting that they're adopting language inverting the truth. Others at that conference talked about how we, the normal people, Americans, we worship death, we love death. But the truth is, for decades, until they realized it's clever to invert it, they said the reason that they would win the Palestinian cause, Hamas, the Palestinian Authority and others, is because they said openly that they love death, they worship death, and their enemies more than we love life. Well, they're being clever about how they're inverting it, but what you really hear, and it's hard for me to even believe such a person could be in Congress, that absolute hate that she has for America, the hate that she has for everything America stands for. And in the room, riling up, like the energy in that room was so hostile and so profoundly anti everything that America stands for. And yeah, that is a war, as you said before on the segment. This is not just about Israel. It has been clear from the beginning, America is the great Satan. Israel is the little Satan. The Jews they despise, the Christians they hate worse. And the truth is, this is a war. Israel and the Jews are on the front line of the war, but it is a cultural war which already has come to America. She's right. They already are in Congress. They dominate the universities. And so it's very hard for Americans. I'm an American. We grow up feeling we're at peace. But the truth is the world has changed and we are at war. They're already waging war against us and we have to stand up and see it for what it is.
I think we should play this final clip because the previous ones could just sound like fiery rhetoric, but it does take a turn which could be interpreted as almost a direct call for some sort of violence. And we will play that just in a second. But also other speakers at this conference said things like this. This is Nidal Jabbour, who is with Doctors Against Genocide, said, "It's time for us to pay back and stop the criminals, the perpetrators, the child murderers, and we all know who they are, whether they are in Israel, in Tel Aviv, in Washington, in Germany, in Europe. We name them all. We all know them. They need to be locked up. They need to be taken out. They need to be neutralized to save children, to save humanity." That's calling for the elimination of American leaders, people in Washington, directly at a conference here in the United States. And that's very similar to statement by Congresswoman Tlaib, Bite 3, where she is talking about the tactics inside Gaza already being deployed here in the U.S. Let's play Bite 3.
What's been tested on the killing fields of Gaza is already being deployed right here in the streets of America.
I don't know that there are many other ways to take that other than support of the massacre on October 7th, the way that Hamas utilizes terror to keep a people contained, have no freedom, no liberty there. No diversity there.
She was reading those words, so it was very deliberate. It wasn't off the cuff. She was glancing down at her speech. That was a well thought out attack that she had planned to do. And so I think people need to realize that this is going to get worse from her. This wasn't an off-the-cuff emotional moment. It was a strategic statement.
In Gaza, you don't see a healthy legal protest community. You don't see outspoken against tyrannical government that governs them in Gaza. That would get you killed in Gaza. The only thing you see is terror from Hamas killing Israelis, killing civilians, massacring people on October 7th. That is saying that that's being deployed right here in the streets of America. This goes beyond a call for a censure within the Congress. That doesn't stop her. That makes her more emboldened. She wears it as a badge of honor because she doesn't like the political structure she works in.